Ladies and gentlemen, the National Security Advisor to the Government of India, Mr. Ajit Doval. General Anil Chauhan, Chief of Defence Staff. I request all of you to please be seated. The NSA has a very important meeting and he has to leave very early. So we will wrap up this session soon, and after that the fireside chat will happen, as I mentioned. I request you to first, we'll just take 2 minutes to show you a little audio-visual on our work over the past decade, and after which we will request the NSA and the CDS to release the book on the 10 years of Bharat Shakti. "10 years, one mission: to tell India's defense story from every front. From forward bases to factory floors, from policy desks to parade grounds, Bharat Shakti has chronicled the journey of a nation strengthening its shield. Our conversations with service chiefs, strategists and veterans brought clarity to complex questions, from modernization and indigenization to the geopolitics shaping our region. Through expert interviews and ground reports, we examined every ripple across our neighborhood, how shifts in China, Pakistan and the Indo-Pacific echo through India's security calculus. In our On the Shop Floor series, we entered the heart of India's defense industry, where innovation meets resolve and self-reliance becomes reality. Forging Warriors took you inside the academies and training grounds, the places where soldiers are made, tested and transformed into protectors of the nation. Through Women in Defense, we honored trailblazers who shattered ceilings, flying, leading and fighting with equal conviction. We revisited the wars that forged our armed forces' legacy, from the Himalayas to the deserts, keeping alive the lessons and valor of every generation. 10 years of insight, fieldwork and fearless reporting. This is Bharat Shakti, where strategy meets storytelling and every story strengthens India. Thank you. I request Nitin to please escort the Chief of Defence Staff and the National Security Advisor to the stage. I request the National Security Advisor, and joined by General Anil Chauhan, Chief of Defence Staff, to launch a book on 10 years of Bharat Shakti, anchoring self-reliance in defence, 10 years of Bharat Shakti. Bharat Shakti has evolved from a pioneering defense media platform into a community that informs, connects, and drives India's quest for self-reliance in defense. It has been our privilege to chronicle that journey every step of the way, bridging the gap between services, industry, policymakers, and partners. So this, ladies and gentlemen, is a special commemorative volume to mark this milestone. It's a collection of some of our finest articles and analyses published over the past decade, capturing the spirit, substance, and evolution of India's defense narrative. Thank you so much. So carrying forward the thought of India's defense resurgence, we will now turn to the conversation, like I said before, to look at the bigger picture, a fireside chat with General Anil Chauhan, who will share his perspective on India's defense priorities in a changing world. Nitin, I hand over the session to you.
Okay. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for your patience. We've been here since 9:30 in the morning. I know that both of us are standing between you and dinner, but I'm sure you will appreciate the fact that we can't have a better person than General Anil Chauhan, Chief of Defense Staff, to tell us what is the roadmap of India's defense planning going further and the jointness and integration that he spoke about last year, and where has he progressed after that. So, General Chauhan, let me start straight away. There is a talk about a new normal, with the Prime Minister also has said that there is a new normal which will not tolerate terrorist attacks, and many of the old parameters have gone. What do you understand by, or what should all of us understand by new normal? If you can explain that, then we'll go into the discussion.
So I think that a new normal is a post-crisis environment in which new rules of the games are written. And they are primarily written with two aims. One, that crisis should not occur like that. And if it occurs again, then we are better prepared for
Thoda
this.
closer.
So this is what I understand as far as new normal is concerned. And slowly, these rules are accepted by the environment, by the society. So I'll give you a few examples. Say like after COVID, the new norm was to work from home. And that became an acceptable norm. After demonetization, the new norm was digital payments, cashless transactions. We all stopped carrying purses, etc. So that was a new normal. After Galwan incident, probably between us, the Indian Army and the PLA, there was a new normal. The new rules of engagement
Sure.
were kind of written.
Right.
So post Sindoor, of course, the Honorable Prime Minister, like you said, they have laid down new precepts, new rules, like talk and terror will not happen together, trade and terror will not go together, water and blood will not go together. We'll not only look after the proxies of terror, but also the perpetrators or the handlers, actually, that will be there, and we will not be deterred by nuclear blackmail.
Sure.
So while this has been, you can say, as a new rules, as a political new rules, but as far as the armed forces are concerned, it should translate into new normal for us also. That would mean something like better operational preparedness 24/7. That I think is very, very essential. We should be better prepared in our air defense, counter-US system, electronic warfare.
Right.
That should be new normal because that's the kind of warfare which we are expecting. We should have our ISR and kinetic operation capability across the length and breadth of Pakistan. That's would be, I think, new normal.
Sure.
And hopefully, while we change, I'm sure that the adversary will also change and accept this new normal.
So the challenge would be to remain 2 or 3 steps ahead of the adversary, I suppose, in the new normal environment.
Yeah, so technologically, we'll have to be ahead. Today, the last time we targeted just maybe static targets. We may have to think of engagement of mobile targets in future.
Right. So that's there. Let me go back to the creation of the post of CDS and Secretary DMA. You wear three hats: Permanent Chairman, Chiefs of Staff, Secretary DMA, and Chief of Defense Staff. During Operation Sindoor, excellent synergy was seen between three forces, and of course, NSA led the entire effort. He was really the man who sort of coordinated it. But CDS in its mandate doesn't have an operational role. Do you think there is a need to tweak that mandate, or how do you see, say, future conflicts, Sindoor 2.0, let's say, if it happens? How do you function then?
You're right that CDS does not have an operational mandate. But if you look at the three hats which the CDS wears and the way he functions, like I'm also permanent chairman, chief of staff committee. So any operational decisions which is taken by the three services, I'm party to it.
Right.
And the whole committee actually goes by my advice because of seniority and other reasons.
Right.
That I think is important. That must be understood. So willy-nilly you get involved. But if it was a single service operation, if the army by itself was carrying out a counterinsurgency operation, then they could well do it independently without CDS getting involved.
Sure.
So that is one. Second thing is, as a CDS, my role is to advise, single point advice to the government of India. So if this advice was being given one-to-one, then it was all right. But most of the time, like in Operation Sindoor, this advice was being given to the political authority completely as part of CUSC.
Sure.
So whatever advice I gave, so that had some kind of a legitimacy for the other services to follow.
Right.
So that I think was important. Another thing is, while the three services operate in their traditional domains, but there are new domains like space, cyber, cognitive warfare. Now these domains come under headquarter IDS, and these are to be made available to the services in support of their operations.
Sure.
So in that way, some kind of an oversight over that is also there.
So, a lot of people, three chiefs have spoken, you've spoken on Operation Sindoor at various places, but I still haven't got hold of, say, one single factor or two or three factors that actually resulted in India's resounding military victory and, of course, the kind of confidence-shattering victory that India had against Pakistan. What was the, if you had to list out two factors, let's say, what would they be?
It's difficult, actually. You can't list out one single factor or two single factors. There are a number of factors, actually, which would have contributed to this victory. Right from top, the political level, very clear-cut direction, freedom of action, they were actually essential part of this victory. With the military, there was great amount of coordination, jointness, and integration. The work which has been going on for past 2 years, that thing, I think, was responsible. And obviously, we had a kind of an capability gap between us and Pakistanis. I'm not talking about numbers, but actual putting strategy, actual capability. So these were essential. But between this political and military, I think the important part was connecting these two together and giving a direction.
Right.
That role, I think, was played by the National Security Advisor. So he had an important role in synergizing all this together.
Sure.
Apart from getting other instruments of national power into this operation.
I think it was all of government approach, as they say classically. It happened because of this. But post the Sindoor, there have been analysis, lots of analysis has been done that this may not be the same circumstances, may not be the same theater of operations like you yourself mentioned. And you had a combined commanders conference in Calcutta recently. What were the Prime Minister's directions in that, if they are, if you are able to share that, if it's not in the classified domain, or at least what you told the Prime Minister, all three of you or four of you, and what does he expect from the military?
So let me begin by saying that for the first time we had combined commanders conference in the eastern part of India.
Okay.
I think the location itself was a big messaging, if you understand what I'm trying to say.
Yes.
Second thing is the framework of the conference. So this conference was slightly different. Earlier combined commander conferences, the first day would be with the CDS, next day with Honorable RM, and the final day with Prime Minister. We reversed the sequence this time. So we could get Prime Minister's and Raksha Mantri's directions quite clearly, and then we had a whole day to deliberate upon that. So there were a number of, like Prime Minister, I think, he spoke about Jai Hind, the Jai part, the first part. That acronym, he said, was about jointness, Atmanirbharta, and innovation. So it was kind of an endorsement of all the initiatives on jointness and integration, which we spoke last time.
Right.
So that was one. And he actually was wanting us to take it forward to the next level, the whole of nation approach, which you were mentioning. So whether it is to be CAPF, whether it is Coast Guard or the Ministry of Port Shipping, so we need to work things out together. So that was one. Endorsement of Atmanirbharta, that's the second initiative, and innovation. In innovation, again, I think the services have to be part of the national technology mission. That was a big takeaway from there. So this is the directions of the Prime Minister, and similar lines Honorable Raksha Mantri spoke. As far as the military is concerned, we had a separate session on a Western Front strategy. That was there. We also had professional discussions on information warfare.
Okay.
We wanted to break it down in three different domains of perception management, electronic warfare, and cyber, which truly are emerging as new domains. Uh, so these were kind of discussions which took place amongst us. And there were also directions from the Prime Minister that we need to take forward this process of integration further and create joint structures for
So
command
how
and
much
control.
has jointness progressed from the last time that 1 year ago that we spoke and you gave me about nine parameters or nine objectives that you had at that point in time? Just give us some status report of that.
So I think last time I told you about 196 odd initiatives which we had identified over 8 odd verticals,
Okay.
that had to be put into place. And almost about 56 of them are already done. And now at least I used to be chasing them myself actually. But now the thing is that it's the ownership which has been taken by the services themselves and with the help of headquarter ideas. So this is being done seamlessly.
So I'll come to the most obvious question right at the end, but future wars seem to be unpredictable. They are technology based, and technology is changing so rapidly that it may not last, a certain technology may not be useful maybe a year or two later, or it will have an upgraded technology coming in there. How are the armed forces, who are normally very, I would say, slow moving or deliberate in their induction or absorption of technology, how are they meeting this challenge?
So you're right, actually. When we all joined service, it was geography which probably dictated strategy and tactics.
Right.
Today, it means technology has overtaken geography completely and it's made it irrelevant. So technology is driving tactics, it's driving strategies, driving the way we fight battles. So we got to be very progressive in thinking as to where this is all leading to. And means I must also try and tell you in the same breath that predicting the future very accurately is
It's
rather
difficult.
difficult. So we need to debate this.
Right.
And I have created various forums for this particular debate. You're aware that we are holding this future warfare course, and
Yes.
this particular course is not open to only services,
Okay.
but it's only also open to the academia, industry, MSMEs, and startups. So this is one initiative which we have taken. We also intend creating a permanent structure in headquarter IDS regarding this. Ran Samvad was
Yeah, I was going
another
to just say that
initiative.
I was there in Mao, and
Yeah.
Ransamwad, I think, you completely flipped the idea of conferences. And I think for this audience, you need to sort of elaborate a little bit what that idea was.
So previously, there have been seminars, means armed forces have been organizing
Sure.
seminars. But they were really not in the domain of war and war fighting, more on diplomacy, international relations, etc.,
International
and
relations
peripheral
and all
issues.
that kind of thing.
So we have changed the focus of military seminars into war, warfare, and war fighting.
Okay.
And it's not only the theme of the particular seminar, but I think the way we conducted it. So normally you find in seminars being conducted by veterans and other think tanks and all, they were the part of the audience.
This time they were part of the
Yes.
audience.
It's
Okay.
the practitioners which are telling that how they foresee warfare.
Okay.
And then take ideas from the people who are part of the participants. So that was one great initiative. We actually, it's my desire to scale this particular event up to, means it could be a military's Raisina dialogue or something like that
Right.
in future.
Okay.
And we expect foreign participation also from next time.
Okay.
And maybe next time you'll find more younger people giving out their views and not the older generation.
The innovators and
Yes.
the startups.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so younger officers will be part of the panelists, and older people like us will be on the listening side.
But did that result in this book that you, second part of your book called Triple R, Ready, Relevant
And
and
resurgent.
Resurgent? What does this book contain? I mean, is it some derivation of your lessons learned in Ransamwad and otherwise so many talks that you have given after becoming CDS to various military establishments? You've gone and explained to people why jointness is required. Is it a gist of that, or you have some theories and technology also included in it?
So let me first say that in both the books there's a big disclaimer.
Okay.
So it says these are the personal views of General Anil Chauhan and not that of the Ministry of Defense.
Right.
So let me put that thing correctly. So let me talk about what it contains, but why it was written by me. That I think the later part is important.
Sure.
So I wanted all these ideas which I had for reform transmission, so actually to be percolated down to mid-level officers so people could read that. It's whenever I address people, it's a limited audience which I address.
Yes.
And most of these talks have been given when in an open kind of a forum. So there's a need to debate these particular issues forward, and they contain a number of issues, mostly about war and war fighting.
Which
and
is
a
the
new
primary
domain.
job
That's
of the military.
Primary job. So if you find most of the articles are related to either military geography or war and war fighting, new domains, traditional domains, new concepts, challenging new ideas, how warfare was in previous times, principles of war. So all these things are there in these books.
So the big elephant in the tent. Where is theaterization journey now? At what stage are we? Because there were so many debates after Op Sindoor. Although you were already progressing jointness, integration, you said those are the preliminary steps that you have to take. And then, of course, go forward. And ultimate aim is theaterization or joint theater command. Let me put it that way. Where are we in that journey?
So start. Let me actually tell you that creation of theatre commands is part of my mandate actually.
Right.
It's given as part of a TOB or business rules. So one part
Terms
says
of business.
yes,
Yeah.
terms of business rules. So I have to progress it to its logical conclusion.
Correct.
I mean, anyone who's a CDS, he's supposed to do it actually.
Right.
So that's been mandated for this appointment. So that I think is important. We started this business the moment I took over as CDS. In fact, General Rawat started it,
Yes.
my predecessor. And we continued with some kind of strategic discussion between the three chiefs and myself for over about 26 days, spread over 2-3 years.
One of them is sitting
Sitting
here.
here. Here, Chief Marshal Chaudhary, General Manoj Pandey,
That's right.
and Admiral Hari Kumar. And when these people retired, we compiled all those discussions of ours in a kind of a booklet and submitted it to the government. So at that point of time, there were still some issues left in that Op Tiranga. Those discussions continued further. And I would say Air Chief Marshal Chaudhary was even part of that second discussion.
I see.
So he retired
Later than the other
3 or
two.
4
Yeah.
months later. So that's where we are. What has happened is post Sindoor, there are some more lessons that we have learned. I need to incorporate that into this model which we have worked out. Say like in the earlier model, we were saying that force generation, force application would be different. And the theatre commander would be responsible for force application. And the service chief for only force generation.
Right.
So it gave him only a responsibility of raise, train, sustain kind of a factor. But in this whole Operation Sindoor, we found that the service chiefs also had a major role as part of COC and directly also with the leadership. So we can't deny away this particular role in the Indian context for some more time.
Right.
So we need to rework that thing out, the role of chiefs of the staff committee. That is, I think, one big lesson. Second big lesson is how do we interact with the higher leadership, the higher defense organization and strategic decision making. Now we have a lot of experience. We have experience of Uri, we have experience of Balakot, Sindoor, Galwan, Doklam, COVID. So we need to amalgamate that particular experience, come to an organization structure which will be for all seasons actually. That would be should be there, and for which we would require not only, means it's not a COSC decision, guidance of people like NSA, etc., would be required to finalize that HDO structure for war, less than war, because today they
It's
don't
less
declare
than war,
wars.
actually. You can't define war anymore.
Anymore.
Yeah.
So we need to work out those structures. So that I think is important.
So, finally, let me ask you this. This was the mandate has been clear. The Prime Minister has declared it. He has said this in the Parliament, or otherwise also, that theatre commands or joint theatre commands is the way forward. So there's no question of theatre commands not happening. Only their shape, their timing, and perhaps their structure. I mean, shape and structure is the same thing, but structure. It has to be unique to Indian conditions and Indian challenges. Is that what you're looking at?
Yeah, so that particular part we have already done.
Okay.
So 90% of the work is already done. Is that little bit of things which we have learned from the present ongoing operations. Some debate more between us. Post Sindoor, the biggest problem we are facing is finding time actually.
Because most people want you to talk about Sindoor.
Yeah, the 4 chiefs in October we've not been able to meet. November looks the same.
Right.
So there is not one day when all 4 of us are in Delhi. So that's the biggest challenge.
So today we were lucky. All 4 of you are here, and all 4 have been here, including the CDS. So we are grateful for that. And with that, let me end this conversation. As usual, very candid and very insightful for the audience. For us, we are, like you said, like we say, that we are focused on defense and national security. I think this is a wonderful revelation that it's on track and you're working on that. So I think on that note, I'm going to end here. I think it's been a long day, but I think it couldn't have ended on a better note than what this conversation with the CDS has achieved. Thank you very much for your patience and your thoughts here. Thank you.
I request Nitin Gokhale to please present a memento to the Chief of Defence Staff, General Anil Chauhan. Can I have a round of applause, please? And now I once again thank all of you. Thank you so much. This was a landmark edition, and all of you, our partners, our speakers, our moderators, thank you so much. Our delegates, thank you so much. Our kiosk partners, Constitution Club of India, once again, to the live streaming team, thank you so much. And now I request all of you to join us for cocktails and dinner, which I'm sure is well deserved, as we continue our conversations in a more relaxed setting. Thank you. The cocktails and dinner is outside in the lawn area. Thank you.